There we go. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much to be here again this morning for this bimensual trade wine testing with Hillside Wine and Spirit and Regency Wine Nevada. All of you obviously are sommelier, master sommelier, wine director, F&B. You're all part of the industry. You all the relationship that we have with the markets. Hillside and Regency are very proud to represent a lot of great products from all over the world. As you know, we're a distributor in both states. And today I'm very, very pleased to have my dear friend Baptiste Cuvelier from Argentina, originally from Bordeaux, like I am, but from Argentina, then join us on this trade Zoom testing to talk about this beautiful property that he has in Argentina. And also the family story and all the good stuff. I want to thank everyone today to make the effort to be online with us for about an hour. Name of the game is everybody will have the chance to talk. You're just going to need to wave your hand if you want to talk, because I really want to get the quality of the sound with Baptiste. But anytime you have a question, please don't hesitate and please be part of it. And as many questions you can get, as many questions we can have from you guys, I'm pretty sure Baptiste and myself will be more than happy to answer to you. Also, at the end of the meeting, we'll stop the recording at 1 hour, and that's where I'm going to actually announce the special deals, the special prices. Then you will have access for the next 10 days, 2 weeks. And of course, if you locked up your prices, you will have those prices until the end of the year to play with. So it is a pleasure to having you, a pleasure to have Baptiste Cuvelier. I am going to turn out to Baptiste, but before we do that, we do have a new tradition that actually my team actually come up with, and I'm trying to follow the feedback. We are going to wave with a glass of wine to start this meeting, because I want to be sure everybody has a glass of wine. I want to be sure this is breakfast of the champion. I want to thanks and cheers everyone from the industry to be part of it. I want to cheers everyone to be part of this meeting. Thank you again from my bottom of my heart, from Regency and from Hillside. Let's continue. It's going to be every other week, so you know that. So if you like what you see today, if you like what we do, you will be definitely part of our network every other week. So just ask your salespeople, and we will send samples like we do with Baptiste today. So thank you very much. I'm passing on to Baptiste. Baptiste, good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning, all. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure. Excuse my English. It's a long time I haven't been practicing my English because I cannot travel anymore. But good to see you all. I'm very happy to gather you guys around this tasting. It's probably a bit early for you. It will soon be dinner time for me, so that's when I'm going to drink wine. But to give you a bit of history of Cuvelier Los Andes, you know I'm French. It's very difficult for me to hide that part. The family, we've been involved in winemaking for centuries. Actually, Cuvelier is my family name. A cuve in French is a tank, lié is to attach. So we were the craft worker that used to make barrels and tanks in the Middle Ages. We've been winery owner, wine merchant for about 200 years now. At the time when the wine merchant used to make all the transformation process, meaning the winemaking, the aging, the blending, and the sale. And then winery owner for about a century in Bordeaux. The most renowned of our estate is Château Léoville-Poiferré, which is second classified growth in Saint-Julien. We also own Château Moulin Riche, Château Le Croc, which are two crus bourgeois in Saint-Julien and Saint-Estèphe. If you are familiar with these labels, then you will understand straight away the label of Cuvelier Los Andes. We want people that are familiar with Léoville-Poiferré to make the bridges. And so Cuvelier Los Andes is the new family project that we started from scratch in Argentina, buying virgin land in Mendoza in Valle de Uco, so about 60 miles south of Mendoza city. in a beautiful place. I believe to make a good wine, you need to grow the grape in a beautiful place, and this is fairly well achieved in that location. Bruno at least can testify because he's been there. We are at the very end of the plateau, down the Andes at about 3,000 feet high. The mountain right above goes up to 16,000 feet. That explains all vine growing in Mendoza and the typicity of Mendoza wine, and especially Malbec, that really found its location down there. And so we started that project from scratch.
Hold on one sec. I'm going to just ask everybody to be sure you mute. I really need everybody to be muted because we have a feedback on the sound system. So, Jeffrey, I see you. Good morning, sir. Can you see if you can mute yourself? I don't want to be rude. There you go. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Baptiste.
So
sorry.
we bought the land in '98. We are in a desert. We bought a piece of nothing. There were only like stone and bushes and cactus. It took us 1 year to get rid of these, to drill our wells, to set up our irrigation system. We've been planting from '99 to '06. So it's only very few years that I have a really mature vineyard, because it takes about 15 years, so plant reaches maturity. And basically, our setup in Argentina is very different from all Argentinian winery, because our setup is the very same setup than Léoville-Poix-Ferré in Bordeaux. So it's very much the Bordeaux Grand Cru setup. The estate is 130 acres. This is the size we know to handle. This is the size we know to craft work with very strong accuracy. Everything is done by hand. We are organic and biodynamic, and we work with very low yield in our vineyard. I believe we make the wine in the vineyard, not in the winery. And so all the focus, all the investment is made in our wine growing. And so very low yield, about a third of the Argentinian average yield. And we try to harvest at the perfect maturity. Having built the winery right in the middle of the vineyard gives us a very good tool, because it's a single vineyard. There is no transport, and as we invest a lot on our vine growing, obviously we do not buy grapes around. And this is another particularity of Cuvelier Los Andes, because like the regular business setup in Argentina is like 20%, the top of the range of each of the winery is made with the estate grown fruit, and the 80%, like the bigger production lines come from purchased fruit. That does not happen at our winery. We only process what we grow.
Very well. Can I stop you for a minute? So I just want to be sure everybody understand then your property is part of the 7 other property Clos l'Assiette, correct? And the whole project start with Michel Roland, and most of you did hear about the name, the flying winemaker as his nickname. Friend of the family, Michel, I believe, do consult with your other property back in Bordeaux, correct?
Absolutely.
And he's the one came up with the idea about Argentina to your family, correct?
Absolutely. He's the one who offered the project to Léoville-Poix-Ferré back in 97, 98, when he was setting up the whole project. Clos l'Assiette, this estate is about 800 hectares. So how much would that be? Probably like 1,700 acres. That was a little too big for him to do it alone. So he needed some help and friends to partner with him. He offered the project to Léoville-Poix-Ferré. The board of directors of Léoville-Poix-Ferré has been wise enough to decline the offer, because they said Argentina is too risky, But among the board of directors, there were like two crazy guys. So one of my uncle and my father that said, yeah, we want to do it. And so we are four shareholders of Cuvelier Los Andes. Us four are shareholders of Le Poiffet, but Le Poiffet being in the family for several generations, the reciprocity is not true. And that's how it all started. And for us, having Michel Roland investing in that project, being one of the 7 partners of Cuvelier Los Siete, knowing all the vine growing region in the world and deciding to invest there in Valle de Uco in Argentina, we thought as far as vine growing and winemaking were concerned, it was a good guarantee. And the truth is, we're not disappointed at all. It is truly paradise for vine growing. It's very easy to handle, even organically, biodynamically. It's way easier than all the region where I've been working in France. It's really paradise. It's beautiful, and the wine come up beautiful. Then,
what was the challenge? What was the challenge in Argentina? Compared than the Bordeaux terroir, what was the most challenging for you guys when you show up over there? What was your first reaction? What was the challenges?
No, I mean, we've been wise enough to partner with local enologists and agronomists because we didn't know anything about Malbec. We didn't know anything about the region. And if we had set up the vineyard and the winery just the way we would have set it up in France, we would have made a terrible mistake that would have cost like several years to correct. Whereas from the beginning, we've partnered with local agronomists and local winemakers that have been working in Mendoza region all their lives, that have been working with Malbec all their lives, and we basically brought the idea, the spirit from Bordeaux Grand Cru vine growing for the aging potential, the vision, and they enabled us to transpose our Bordeaux Grand Cru vine growing and winemaking in Argentina in the best condition. Our biggest challenge is Argentina on a macroeconomic point of view, like the economy, the tax system, the currency being devaluated pretty much every day. These are issues that we don't have here in Europe with the euro, whereas Argentina is it's the far south.
That's why you don't. That's why you don't live in Argentina. That's why you live in Chile.
Oh yeah, I never wanted to have a personal bank account in Argentinian peso, and that was a good intuition because when we started that project, $1 was 1 peso, and now $1 is 72 peso. So the currency has just been divided per 72 in about 20 years.
Wow!
And yeah, I'm glad I'm elsewhere.
So that's why you establish yourself in Chile. And that's why your family and yourself live in Chile, and you going back and forth to the winery in Argentina. Then we took the road together. It's obviously a very short distance when you look at the map, but the trip is actually a drill. So I don't know if anybody took this road called the Caracoles, I believe.
Yes, Caracoles.
And it is just amazing. And the experience was 4 of us in the car driving to those huge mountains. And it took us, 6 hours to go through when it's like 150 or 200 kilometers, correct?
Not even. On a straight line, it's 60 miles.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, very impressive, very high altitude. Tell us a little bit more about the condition in Argentina, where the winery is about. So you're on the bottom of the Andes, and what is give us a feeling about the sense of the vineyard and what the vineyard is going through as far as season.
So at this time of the year, we are pruning. We are actually, we'll be done with pruning in about 1 month, so not even in 3 weeks. We are at the end of winter. Bud break will be probably in late September. We're doing the green works throughout October, November, December. and we might eventually do the final corrections in January, and then harvest. We usually harvest for our rosé in mid-February, about 5 weeks before we harvest for the red.
So the rosé, it's made Provence style rosé, high acidity.
Absolutely, direct press rosé. I mean, we wanted to be faithful to our French origin, so it had to be direct press.
Well done.
But then it's Argentinian, so based on Malbec. It's a beautiful, lovely rosé. 2020 has arrived in the US, by the way.
Ooh.
And very Côte de Provence style, but then with Malbec. Usually about 5 weeks before we harvest the rosé, about 5 weeks before we harvest the Malbec you're tasting now. Because
there we go. So this is, there you go. Perfect timing. Great transition, Baptiste. That's why I want everybody to be sure to grab this beautiful Malbec. I know you're already doing that, but we want to be sure that you're testing this one as we're talking about. So Baptiste, great transition. Can you please tell me, or tell us, I should say, more about the creation of this, what we call collection Malbec. We call that Malbec.
Malbec.
Tell us the technique here. What is the philosophy behind this label? And explain a little bit more about the 3-tier than you have, or actually 4-tier than you have in a selection as today.
Well, it's I mean, we produce all of our wine as to produce the top of the line, Grand Malbec, Grand Vin. The core production of Cuvelier Los Andes is obviously the 2 blends, just the way we work in Bordeaux. First label Grand Vin, second label collection. But we sell mostly in Argentina, in the US, in Brazil, where consumers are more used to drink by varietal. So we kind of had to produce that Malbec as to raise awareness to the brand, and slowly but surely drive everybody from this Malbec to our blends, collection, and Grand Vin.
Your flagship.
I don't know, when you buy a TV, I believe you don't buy a black and white TV. You buy a color TV. That's the way I see a vital wine as opposed to a blend. A blend always bring like more complexity, and this is our way to perceive wine in Bordeaux, which is obviously a region where we are very keen on our wines.
Blending. So blending was the first original concept of the winery. When you build a vineyard, in your mind was to create the Grand Vin, the flagship that we're going to text next. And it was about bring over the recipe,
which is collection. But
yeah,
the
bring
thing
over
is,
the recipe of Bordeaux.
I end up producing 350,000 bottles, and it's a little too much, so I drink them myself. And as everybody was asking for Malbec, and more Malbec, well, then I produced the Malbec.
You did produce a Malbec.
The idea was to come up with a wine that would retail for about $20, that would be in the by the glass price range, and still showing very well, being very clean, respecting the health of whoever drinks it,
and also 100%
what we 100% is. I mean, that's the basic. As I said in the introduction, I believe we make the wine in the vineyard, not in the winery. And again, we've been working with very young vines because it's still the beginning of the story. Our oldest vine is 20 years old now, and so you cannot plant a vine and then 3 years after, at the first harvest, say, all right, this wine will have an aging potential of 30 or 40 years. No, it takes time. And so slowly but surely, as our vines were getting more mature, and so we could raise the volume of our Grand Malbec and Grand Vin, we still have something to do with our young vine wine, and that's where our vitals. So the Malbec, but we also have a Cab, we also have a Merlot. We created them just to raise awareness to the wine and to the winery and to the brand, and I think it did work very well. And I think for its price, it's a very, very good value, and and can hold very good ground compared to all the other Argentinian Malbec in the same price range.
Okay, so let's go to the details about the winemaking of this wine. So you obviously pick it up on the younger vine. It's a specific
everything is picked by hand. It's a very short transport from the plot to the winery. Then we have a double sorting system. So first, cluster per cluster, we get rid of the leaf, of the snails or whatever they can be. Then we desteam the grapes. We have a second sorting system, like berry per berry. So we make sure that only the top berry get into our tanks. We use gravity to fill the tanks, so there is no trituration, no damage to the raw material at all. Then in the tank, it starts the selection process, for me, the most important part. Then it starts in the tank with a cold maceration for about 5-6 days to start extracting color and fruit flavor. And then after 5-6 days, we stop cooling the tank, and then as the temperature raises, the fermentation starts. We run the fermentation with the indigenous yeast from the vineyard, because we do not spray anything stupid in the vineyard. So all our we have the native yeast alive. As I said, we're organic and biodynamic. So these run the fermentation. And during the fermentation, as we've invested a lot in the quality of the grape, in the concentration of the grape, in the selection of the grape, then we want to extract, we want to convey as much as we can from the skin to the juice and to the wine. So a lot of extraction, a lot of mechanical work with 5-6 pump over a day, plus 2 to 3 punch down. We try to do the fermentation at a very low temperature. We do not allow a tank to go above 72 Fahrenheit, because we don't want to burn the primary aroma of the varietal first. And second, we want to slow down the fermentation process, so we have a wider window to do the extraction. And then at the end of the fermentation, so depending on the concentration of each tank, we might decide on a post-fermentation maceration. That usually does not happen on the Malbec. That happens more on the upper line on Grand Vin and Grand Malbec. And then depending on quality and concentration, we will decide on the barrel treatment. So collection, Malbec, Cabernet, and Merlot, which is our second range, our second tier, usually are the less concentrated wine. So they go to second and third use barrel for about 10 months. We usually 10 to 12 months, and then it is bottled. That's the process for our second tier.
Very good. So we're here on the Malbec. Some of you do have 2015 and some of you have 2016. So Baptiste is going to tell us a little bit more about the difference between these two vintage. But before we get to that, every week or every time we do this session, I like also to have a little cheese pairing. So our friend Sam from Custa, which is the little wine and cheese store next to my home, owned by Jan Idiar, is going to be live and is going to tell us a little bit of these 3 cheese that I believe then Sam organized for us in regard of the Malbec. Sam, you're on, my friend. Thank you so much to do that for us.
Yeah, of course. Our pleasure.
Jan's
here.
Hello, Jan. Hello. How you doing?
Well, let me get some gloves on to handle the cheese really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We love all the Cuvelier stuff here at the shop. The Malbec has been our best-selling Malbec. We have a couple other Malbecs that everyone just ignores at this point. But we've got some fun pairings and a bonus kind of oddball one. So the first cheese we've got is Le Wavre, which is on like the French side of Belgium. It's cow's milk cheese. It gets a really nice kind of like butter and popcorn thing going on, in addition to like the more like nutty, grassy flavors you'd expect from a cow's cheese of this age. And I like it with the kind of like bitter chocolate notes in the wine, because what's better than butter, popcorn, and chocolate? The next cheese is cider washed buffarolo. So this is a really interesting cheese. It's made in Italy, and there it's considered like a cottage cheese. It has sort of a feta consistency. But this one is sent to New York, where it's aged in Crown Finish caves, which are the old bootlegging caves underneath Crown Heights, Brooklyn. A lot of cheeses go there, mostly domestic cheeses. This is one of the few international cheeses that does. It's also been washed in transmitter cider. So it gets a kind of lemony paste with a nice earthy, mushroomy, deep rind. Very unique, works great with the flavors. And then lastly, I feel like I may have featured this before, but it's amazing, and I got to show them love all the time. Harbison from Jasper Hills Cellars. This is so awesome. It is a really spoonable, fun, soft cheese. It's wrapped in young spruce bark, which gives it a really savory, woodsy quality. You kind of pop the top off, and then you just dig in. It's amazing with baguette, with fruit, you know. But the craziest thing that it's great with is this is the bonus pairing. Potato chip pairing. It's crazy with potato chips, a variety of flavors. I love these Torres Jamon Iberico chips. I actually was fortunate enough to go to South America at the start of the year, and in Argentina, Lay's makes Iberico chips, and I got hooked on them. So I was really excited that we started carrying these when I got back. But these are a match made in heaven. If you can get some bootleg Argentinian Lay's, get those. I think it will be a really cool pairing. But yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you, Sam. You did a great job. Please put those chips and this cheese on the side for me. I will pick it up in an hour.
You got it, Bruno.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this little section. We like to break down with a little food pairing. As everybody knows, that's what we do. We try to bring over wine to our chef, bring wine to you guys, food and beverage, to make the best experience for your guests. So Sam, again, thank you, and thank you very much to Custa. Back to Baptiste. Baptiste, can you tell us the difference between 2015 and 2016 vintage as far as we're testing the Malbec, the entry-level collection Malbec, still 100% estate. For everybody did listen to us, be sure you understand. This is 100% estate. Baptiste doesn't buy one drop of grape from anybody else than growing what he's producing from. So here we go. Baptiste, you're back online.
Sure, very easy. 2016 has been the worst vintage in Argentina for decades, even worse than 1998. We sometimes down there have weather condition called El Nino, which is a very weak current, cold current from the South Pole that goes along the coast of Chile. And as this cold stream is very weak, there is a lot of evaporation in the Southern Pacific Ocean, so a lot of rain in Chile and Argentina. And that was the case in 2016, and actually even worse than 1998, which was the previous one. And so it's a very interesting vintage to taste, 2016 from Argentina, because you straight away identify who knows how to work and who is buying his grapes.
Yeah.
2016 has been very challenging. We've had a lot of rain, so all of our Argentinian staff was in panic. Like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? We don't know that. Whereas us French owner were like way more setback, say, well, don't worry, there is mildew, there is oidium, there is rot. We just need a little bread and we're like in Bordeaux. And in the end, it worked out nicely. It's a very interesting vintage to taste for you guys, 2016 from Argentina.
So 15 now, 15 was
sorry?
15 was a different vintage, obviously, and it was a way more easy vintage.
It was not the perfect vintage, was one of the vintage that I personally like a lot because it was a cool and rainy vintage, not to the extent of 98 or 16, which are very atypical. But 15 was kind of cool and wet, and that tends to bring our wine in Mendoza closer to Bordeaux, whereas on a warm year, we're brought more closer to California. And my taste is more the old world Bordeaux. That's my own personal taste, and I do like 15 for that.
So people from Nevada, you have access to people from Nevada. Sorry, people from Nevada, you have 2015, I believe. So grab it before it's too late, because obviously, as you hear, 2015 was a less challenging vintage than 2016. But I'm testing 16 right now. And if I may ask the rest of the crew here, everybody is online, and everybody want to take the lead and tell us what they think about the 2016, or somebody want to tell us what he find on the 2015. I don't mind. I just would love to get a feedback from you. I don't know if I see everyone. It's a lot of people online. Who want to take the leads? Is someone want to wave his hand and tell me who want to describe this first wine for us? If you can unmute yourself and talk, it's also perfectly fine with me, because I have a hard time to see everyone on the same screen. I'm sorry. Is anybody want to take a lead? Anyone?
David.
David can do it. That's his birthday.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with this wine, so hey, thanks guys. It's a violet, plum, blue fruit. Good integrated wood, gives a nice little background of cedar, little hints of vanilla as well. It's a great, complex, everyday table wine. You know, it's a perfect everyday Malbec. Good work, Baptiste. And I'm on the 2015, just so everybody knows.
Thank you. As anybody has 16 on the front of him and you want to describe, because it's obviously another vintage and we just released about 2 or 3 months ago. And as you said, it was a challenging vintage. And I tested some other 16 from other competitor. And it is definitely showing that if you don't know what you're doing in the 16, you're definitely not going to have a good result, that's for sure. So I love difficult vintage, because it's giving a chance to the winemaker and the good winemaker to shine. So who want to take over the lead on the 16 before? Please help me out. There's so many people on the screen. I have a hard time to see who is there. Oh, Coral, thank you. Thank you so much. Coral is in Manhattan Beach. She's one of our great followers. Thank you so much to be here, Coral.
Yeah, I really like this wine. I love Malbecs personally, and sometimes I can find them quite a bit barnyardy, which I know some people. I mean, that's kind of a polarizing thing. But this is I get dark fruit. I was thinking brambly was the word that was coming to mind for me. Something like a little woody. It's not, it has really nice structure, but it's not overly tannic. It's not bitey. It's really smooth. And I was getting that dark fruit as well on this one. But I think it's a really, and then some bright acidity toward the tail end. And I think it's really lovely.
Thank you, Coral. I really appreciate that. I think, as you described very well, what I'm always amazed with the wine and Baptiste making, and it's not because he's here that I'm saying that, but because it's also one of my baby that we raised for the past 12 years with Regency and Hillside. We love our Cuvelier. But what I love the most about Cuvelier is the acidity. Malbec can be very flabby and can be very like anxious, because it doesn't have the dimension that I'm looking for. And when Baptiste making those wine, he's always looking for this acidity, and I think it gives more texture to the wine, but more layers to the wine. And I believe a 3 layers wine for me will make my day. So it's like art, you know, when you see a piece of art and it's super flat, and when you see someone knows how to give you and transport you to the frame, that's what I really love about Baptiste wine. But thank you, Coral, to describe this first wine with us. It is the time today, guys, to test the second wine. So we're going now with the flagship of the winery. This is what Baptiste is very passionate about. This is what the winery started for, which was for this cuvée. We have, I believe everybody has 2014 Grand Vin. Again, the flagship of the winery. And Baptiste, tell us so much. I mean, I know you love this wine. I know everything is made at the winery to make this wine. So tell us a little bit more about it, please.
Well, you good introduction. I mean, the whole project has been made to produce that wine. This is the one I like to introduce, the Argentinian cuisine of Château-Léoville-Poiferré. and I believe with such young vines, we're on a good track. The idea was to produce a wine that is long, complex, balanced, with a strong aging potential. It's always a blend based on Malbec, around 70% Malbec, with Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Syrah, and Petit Verdot, which are the 5 varietals that we have planted down there. So there are differences from a year to another. What we're trying to produce is the best possible blend every year. If you are actually the 2014 is a vintage I like a lot. I think this one is a truly Bordeaux blend because Syrah was not included. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you can read the back label, because I don't have it on top of my mind. Just to show this is a 2008 vintage, so my back label is of no help.
Yeah, you're not cheating that the other wineries sometimes they use the same back label for every vintage. So at the end of the day,
we try to be accurate.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, I like that. So my back label shows 77% Malbec, 17% Cabernet Sauvignon, 4% Merlot, and 2% Petit Verdot. And if I was a good salesperson, I should know that by heart. But I just cheat. I just look at the back label. But we want to see also, guys, then we did that to be sure that all the sommelier and all you guys do have the sense where you are pouring as far as the breakdown of the grape. So yeah, that's in the back label, and it looks like it's accurate.
Good, thank you. So truly Meritage that year, truly Bordeaux blend. So I really detailed the process of the Malbec. What's the difference with Grand Vin or with Grand Malbec is that we also make part of it we do the fermentation in barrel for about 10 to 20% of the volume. So a selection of our most beautiful grapes are desteamed, and we fill the tank. We open the barrel, we fill the barrel, and then instead of doing pump over in the tank, we just roll the barrels.
You have me doing that last time I was in Argentina. Really?
I might even find pictures of Bruno doing that last year. It's a good task, and that gives us good result with beautiful extraction. And then it's a longer aging in newer barrels. Usually, Old Grand Vin has been through new barrel for about 18 months.
Got it. Now, I have a question on the chat right here. The people asking Syrah. So this blend over here, this Grand Vin, don't have any Syrah this year because it looks like 2014 was a very good vintage, and I want to come back to the 14 vintage. But how many acres do you have in Syrah? And the question that we get,
a lot of Syrah. Maybe you could show the map of the vineyard.
Okay.
I believe you have it somewhere. So our vineyard is a triangle of about 130 acres, and we have one plot of Syrah, which is of about 3.2 hectares, so about 7 acres. That's all the Syrah we have. And in 2014, we usually harvest the Syrah at the really end of our harvest. And we've had a very wet late harvest in 2014, and so we had a little rot in the Syrah, which is why it did not qualify for the top blend in that vintage.
Okay, now Syrah, how many acres you said that you have? Sorry.
About 3 something.
So really not much. And why people from Bordeaux do have the idea to actually grow Syrah?
Now, that's because we're not stuck with rigid and obsolete DOC as we are in France. We can still do whatever we feel like doing, and so we like Syrah, and we thought Syrah would give us some really good result in this condition with the high altitude, with a 3,000 feet high, with a really incredible temperature difference from day to night temperature. And it was a good bet. Actually, I still have about 20 acres to plant, and I'm sure I will add few acres of Syrah.
I have to mention a little secret for everyone listening to us. I do know a lot of people in Bordeaux that do have Syrah in their back of their fields. And that's because the bad vintage, it's always saved by a dark fruit. Then you can save a running vintage like 1997 or 1981. So yes, people in Bordeaux hide their Syrah, but it really did save a lot of people vintage sometimes. Just inside story. Go ahead, Baptiste.
Coming back to what you were saying about the acidity, my key word when it comes to winemaking is balance. I want a good nose, very flavorful, then a good entrance, and I want the wine to be very long, and I want you to be entertained from the time you get the wine in your mouth to the time you whether spit or swallow and long after. And I think it's always easier to achieve with a blend, but to achieve this, the keyword is balance. And I have no doubt that I will get a lot of sun, a lot of sugar, a lot of concentration in Argentina. My challenge is how do I keep enough acidity in my grapes to keep the wine in balance? Because I told you I'm organic and biodynamic. Obviously, I don't dump any additive or enological product in my tanks either. I don't want to correct the acidity because I feel like you always taste it and I don't like that. And also because having a strong acidity is what will bring me balance, length, and will enable me to work with even less sulfite. So that's my challenge because it's very warm during the day. We get very high temperature, and all our green work and work in the vine is made so we keep a strong acidity. That's why I have a green cover. That's why I don't cut out the top of the vines. I let the vegetation grow and then I roll it on top because I need shadow. That's why we have planted fairly high, because I don't want the reflection of the sun onto the stones of the soil, raise the temperature and explode the grain. And everything is made so we keep enough acidity in the grapes so we can mature the grape and then have enough acidity to keep a balanced wine.
I was surprised. Thank you. Thank you. I was surprised when I went to see you over there also. Then you were using this technique that I never see anywhere else as far as irrigation. You were doing the dropping not at the bottom of the plant, but you were dropping the water in between two rows.
Sure.
Can you explain me or explain us why you're doing this and where come from this technique? Where did you learn and how did you develop with this technique?
No, I mean, at the beginning was that's not something we learned. That's just an experimentation that turned out good. So we started on few plots and we've expanded it. Of course, at the beginning when we did the planting, we were watering right where the plants are. But then the plants are just like us, they're lazy. So if you just water them where they are, where they grow the roots, where the water fell. In Mendoza, if we do not irrigate, there will be no culture possible. And it's actually why we don't have that much the vintage effect and why we can be very
consistent.
Consistent. Exactly. Thank you. Consistent in, from a year to another. But then if we water always at the same place, well, the plant will grow the roots towards where they receive the water. So after a few years, we just change the water line, not from the line to the middle of the line. So, well, the plant has to grow its roots to go and seek the water where it is. And then this is why I believe our wine have a stronger minerality and reflect more the terroir that we have there than any other winery around us, because we force our plant to grow their roots. And if they don't, they die. Very easy.
Got it. Superb. Thank you. Thank you. I'm pretty sure everybody is on the 2014 Grand Vin. Is anybody want to take the lead on the Grand Vin? Jack did amazing. Thank you, Jack, for the description on the chats. Everybody can read that, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Jack. If you do have to go to your next meeting, I completely understand if you're still around. Thank you. Is anyone to take the lead on the Grand Vin, the flagship? Yes. Yes, yes. How you doing? Thank you so much to be here. I'm going to unmute you.
Hi, everybody. So this, not only are these wines just so easy to sell, and that's really a blessing, I think, for all of us. This is a very tasty wine, and I put in the chat that this could actually substitute for my morning coffee.
Yeah.
That's kind of the first thing that I got when I opened it this morning, was this beautiful mocha and caramel and coffee note. And to me, this is like a really juicy, creamy, dreamy palate confusion. Like it's like sweet and savory, but it finishes dry. And that's kind of another great sales technique that you can have with people, but it's pretty badass. I think the tannins at this point have really integrated. They're soft, and yet there's still kind of this intense power behind it that kind of sneaks up on you in a really fabulous way. So thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you for the description. Really, thank you very much. I have to say then, when I test the Grand Vin about 15 years ago, the first release, I'm always amazed about the integration of the grape. I know Malbec, and I know Malbec can take over. And what I love about the Grand Vin is the technique then because I'm pretty sure Baptiste and his history and his family are from Bordeaux, they know how to blend. And what I love about what they're doing with the Grand Vin is the integration of the grape, the integration of the Cabernet, the Petit Verdot, working with the Malbec that make you a full wine. They give you a more complex, balanced wine. And most of the Argentinian wine that I test, especially blend, they are disjuncted. You test the Malbec, you test the Cabernet, but how do you get a wine make so well integrated? What is your technique here, Baptiste? You think it's the barrel fermentation? I mean, what do you think make this one so well integrated?
No, I mean it's a 3-year process. I mean, we have 1 year of work in the vineyard. We have 1 year of work in the winery before we decide on the final blending, and it's a game, and we are very clear, very bright what we want to produce in the end, and all the decisions throughout these years are made to meet that goal. So then we have the final adjustment, but we know exactly what is gonna play what role in the final blend, and so that's not that the game. And then it's just being humble, and in the end, not deciding ourselves, but understanding what the grape or then what the wine require.
Got it.
And
Now,
acting, respecting this. I have a good question in the chat of what is your philosophy for picking, and when do you pick? Yes, the acidity play a very important role in that decision. This is really what I'm monitoring. When I was working in France, in Bordeaux, we were monitoring the concentration of sugar, the alcohol, the bricks.
okay. Hello, everyone. There we go.
The concentration of acid, and at some stage say, okay, we cannot wait any longer. We need to harvest now, or we will waste the balance of the wine. And so the acidity is the key point in the decision of when to pick.
Got it. Now, next question. You said the herbaceous. So you told me about this little special grass growing over there. Then sometimes give you this minty flavor to it. Or do you think it's the oak cluster? Or you don't use any oak cluster, do you?
So we as I said, we maintain all the native herbs that are growing in the vineyard, because we want to lower the temperature in our lines in order to preserve the acidity in our grapes. So on top of that, we've also planted some other plants, more for the good health of the vineyard, for the penetration of the rain in the soil. But we also, as you said, we also have that type of wild mint, which is called poleo verde in Argentina and in Chile. And it's a type of wild mint that you get to taste it sometime.
And on the wine, and it looks like someone did detect that, and it's definitely this ambitious. Then I retrieve year after year, and your wine are natural, and it's because you try to conserve and you try to actually do a great thing in the vineyard to keep it in the most healthy way. Everybody, yeah, go ahead.
The next step will be maybe including some other culture within the line to enjoy the water line, which is not right below the plant, but in the middle, and maybe grow mint in one plot, grow strawberries, and always focusing on other culture that will spread some good smell that will stick to the grapes.
Got it. Got it. I think it's just clever. You're doing so much for this vineyard, and I know when we were there together, you were so proud to get to your knee and grab this terroir and grab this ground, and putting in your smell. And you told me that when you come up first before you plant, it was so dry, and the ground was so poor at one point because nobody was taking over. So can you tell me a little bit more about your emotion when you smell those ground?
No, it's just a reaction on the way we are doing agriculture in this world. When you look at the cereal region in Argentina, when you look at the Midwest, with that much chemical and GMOs, we turn good arable land into desert, and I'm turning a desert into good arable land, and I'm very proud of that.
I really, really think it's just amazing what you're doing over there, and I was just very impressed seeing you take. It reminded me of my grandfather. My grandfather in Bordeaux used to do that all the time, even eat the ground sometimes just to get a sense about what kind of plant or what kind of a natural treatment that he didn't have to do in a vineyard. So yes, it's another thing that I was very surprised. I'm trying to share my experience with everybody here. I was really amazed about classical music during vinification blasting inside the winery. I mean, do you like so much classical music? What classical music does to the winery? And do you think your employee in Argentina love to listen to classical music?
Okay, I will answer to the last part of the question. I am sure they don't, even though after so many years, some are getting used to it. I believe the one I produce is an alive product, and as an alive being, it reacts to waves, to emotions, and if it's all harmonious, well, then it will just go and work smoothly. And it's true that we've had the experience of, as I said, we're running the fermentation with the indigenous yeast. We sometimes need to help them with love and good vibe, and so they can finish the job, and it does work. Then of course it's better when I'm here, because then I can check what type of music they're playing.
Yeah, because
sometimes when I turn my back, it all goes back to reggaeton or all these, and I'm not so sure about the positive effect of that music to the wine. But music does help to reinforce the kinetic of fermentation that is slowing down, and that has we've proved that year after year in the past 10 years.
Great. I thought that was just amazing experience, and I'm pretty sure everybody did understand how much passionate you.
I don't blame my employees, because I'm the same. After 24 hours straight of classical music, I'm going nuts as well. But
it's
you have a price, Bruno?
It's good for you.
You have a price about this?
Yes. What do you say, Alan?
Do you have a price about those?
Yes, so it is an hour we're together, and I want to thank obviously Baptiste for the great presentation. And as everybody can see, then Baptiste is very passionate about his land and very passionate about his winemaking and all the technique, all the research, and is obviously very much organically grown. As you can imagine, this is a great project. Then we started about 12, 13 years ago here as an importer distributor for Baptiste and Cuvelier, and we're very pleased and very proud. So thank you again, Baptiste, to make this amazing product for us all these years, and the consistency and the dedication that you're making for this project make us very proud to present your wine every day. And I hope you guys will be happy to serve that to your guests and make them an exceptional experience. So here we go. I want to thank everyone. This is the end of this meeting. We're going to turn out to be an hour, and we're going to go offline, and I will tell you a little bit more about the business and marketing and sales and prices. Thank you again for everyone to be here. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure. And I end up producing way more than what I can drink for myself. So thank you for your help, and have fun. It's only wine, and it's made to be drink and enjoyed.
And share with others. Very well.
They do such a great job every year. Yeah, I don't really got anything else.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you, very appreciate. Thank you for your long time support. Keep doing the good job over there, and yes, and drink wine every day. You know that. Claudio, my dear friend, I know Claudio for more than 18 years. Claudio, tell us about. You have to unmute yourself for a minute. I can help you out doing that if you want. Okay. Here you go. Go ahead, Claudio.
I've been drinking this wine ever since it came around. Formerly from Arizona, right now I'm a consultant of myself. But I love this wine. I've always loved this wine, especially the Grand Vin. And for the people that don't like the tanning, grow up. Tanning are good.
Thank you, Claudio. Don't change, buddy. Keep doing the good work over there. Thank you for your friendship and your long-time support of the company. Larry, good morning, Larry. If you want to mute yourself, thank you very much to be here, Larry. Appreciate that. And mute. Here we go, Larry. Go ahead.
Good morning. Larry Johansson. I'm in Stockton, California. I have a small fine wine shop that I've had now for 40 years and still struggling to keep it going a little longer. It's a little difficult during these times. Hillside and Regency are new to me, unfortunately, but I'm looking forward to tasting a lot more things, and this has been a very well spent hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. I really appreciate it. Let me know if I can help you out with anything. Thank you so much to be a new fan of our selection. I don't need to introduce Smitty, but Smitty is our GM in Reno. So very quickly, Smitty, say hello to everyone, please.
D. Smitty Smith here, General Manager for Regency Wine and Spirits in Northern Nevada, and your adult beverage consultant. And just darn happy to be here.
Thank you, Smitty. You're the best. Alan, I don't think we need to present Alan. He's pretty well known in Vegas, and he's also, you know how he kept me on the line about the meetings, and I'm going to be yelled at because we're passing the hour. But go ahead, Alan, you have 2 seconds.
Hey.
There you go.
Everybody knows me already, so it's okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Alan, for the good work over there. Let's Paul Sherman, please introduce yourself. Thank you to be here, Paul. I didn't see you for a while. You served me many different meals at Valentino in Santa Monica. So I'm very happy to have you here. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm going to unmute you for a second. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Click the button. There you go. Ask for unmute. Here we go. You go. Go ahead, Paul. No.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go. Go ahead. No. Another one. Click one another time very quickly.
There we go.
There we go. Go ahead, Paul.
So thank you, Bruno. I appreciate being included here. Since Valentino closed, I'm now at the Jonathan Club downtown. And fortunately, we have a rooftop dining room where we're serving. And the Chateau Le Croc is one of my little toys that I play with. So thank you for that. And here I am.
Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate all these years serving good people and always sharing good story with the guests and knowing your wine so well. I appreciate that. Really happy to have you, and please come along again anytime. You tell me, and we send you samples over. Frank, good morning. Thank you to be here. Frank, very quickly, where are you, and which establishment you're working at this time, and what do you think about the wine? Very quickly, please.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Frank Volchek. I work at L'Atelier Joel Robuchon in Las Vegas. Patiently waiting to go back to work, but had a lot of experience with these wines in past restaurants I've worked at. Always showing good, and thank you very much for letting me be part of this tasting. I've always enjoyed these tastings, Bruno. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. And I just want to mention something. And about 10 years ago, the only outside French wine at L'Atelier was Cuvelier Los Andes, because we did have a chance to put it as a Bordeaux Argentinian blends. And I hope it's still the same. We love Robuchon, love L'Atelier, one of my fav in Las Vegas. Gina is our rep in Lodi. She is definitely in the California side. Very quickly, Gina, as I'm running out of time, please. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Gina Licari here in Lodi and Hillside Wine Spirits, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Gina. I really appreciate it. Sarah, thank you so much to be here. I didn't see you for a while, but you're always a good supporter. Thank you so much, Sarah. Tell us a little bit quickly about it.
Hi, I'm Sarah Pomatat. Can you hear me okay?
Very well.
Okay, good. Okay. I've supported these wines for quite some time. My list, specifically this one, By the Glass, since the 2013 vintage. Huge fan. I love what he's doing. So I'm going to continue to support it. But again, I work at Bellagio, sorry. Jasmine Restaurant for 15 years now.
15 years now. Thank you, Sarah, for the long time years supporting my portfolio and all the good time that we have testing those wines together.
Sarah has a Malbec By the Glass at Bellagio.
Beautiful.
What?
Thank you. By the Glass, Sarah. Thank you so much to make that happen for us and for the good support of the brand. Thank you. Next, Duffy. So tell me.
Hey, good afternoon. How are we doing? Sorry, my son was trying to jump in on the interview. I'm with Harvest at the Bellagio. Currently, at the moment, I'm on call, but before the whole pandemic happened, the Grand Vin Malbec was definitely, for my guests and our style of food, a go-to staple. And it's the second venue I've had it listed, so just been a big fan of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate that. Cora, we obviously talked to you for a sec, and you're in Manhattan Beach. Thank you so much to be here. Tell us a little bit more. You're in Manhattan Beach, and which location again?
I'm actually between Redondo Beach and Hermosa Beach, which is very, very close to Manhattan Beach.
Sorry.
I've been part of a wine shop in Redondo for 11 years called Friends of the Vine. And then I'm actually here for a restaurant in Hermosa Beach called Barron's 2239, kind of high-end casual dining.
Love the place. If you're around the South Bay, I mean, it's definitely the place to be. A very neighbor restaurant. I love to send people over there. Thank you for the support, Cora. Thank you so much.
And we love the
Solène.
Cuvelier. We love the Cuvelier Bordeaux. So I'm really excited about these Argentinian products.
Super. Thank you so much. Solène, thank you to be here. Unmute.
Unmute.
Did I
There you go.
unmute? Did you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Thank you, Solène.
Thank you. Great meeting. Great Zoom this morning. I love the wines, especially the Grand Vin. I can't wait to have it in the store because when people get tired of Bordeaux, sometimes they just want to experience something new and different, but they stick to the grapes. That's the perfect recommendation and perfect price. Yeah.
Thank you. So you're in Las Vegas, and what is the name of your store?
So the store is Valle Cheese and Wine, so fine wine and fine cheese. And then we also do classes for Las Vegas Wine Academy, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm expecting you to put some cheese selection for us on the next Zoom meeting in 2 weeks.
I would love to. I will do that.
Okay, let's do that, Solène. I really appreciate it. I'm going to jump up to Frédéric. I don't know why, but I missed him, but Frédéric is a long-time friend. We know each other for a long time in Los Angeles, and he's one of the huge influencers as far as the sommelier world here in California. Thank you, Frédéric, to make this happen.
Bruno, talking about time, today, 17 years ago, I was stepping into l'Orangerie coming from Paris. It's been 17 years that I know you. I'm now at Alexander Steakhouse in Pasadena. Yes, we do have the Cuvelier. Please keep me 10 cases. We will have the Cuvelier Malbec by the glass coming up.
Thank you. I really appreciate the support, Frédéric, and thank you to pass the word around to the network of sommelier. You're doing a great thing for us. I really appreciate the support. Bella, thank you so much to be here today. I really appreciate your time. Tell us a little bit more about you. I'm going to unmute you in a second. Here we go. Ask to unmute. Click the button. Did you see it? I'm going to ask again.
There we go.
Here we go. Here we go, Bella. Yes, you're here.
Here I am. Okay, so I'm Bella Cummins. My businesses are all the way across Nevada, but I'm in Reno in a great mood because I've never had so much time off. I'm enjoying it. And then my friend Smitty, we've been friends at least 37 years. I look forward to meeting you when the world sort of opens anew. And I really enjoy these tastings, really enjoy this whole French thing.
Thank you, Bella. I really appreciate that. Here we go. Thank you, Bella.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.
Here. Thank you so much. Here we go. The wine goddess, you did a great description earlier. Can you tell us a little bit more about you? Yes, please.
Yeah, so Kat Thomas in Las Vegas. I was most recently with the Hakkasan Group as our education training manager for the US. And now I have started my own LLC called Core Body Mind. And will be a consulting and education and mental health awareness actually for the hospitality industry. So this is great.
That's great. That's amazing what you're doing for the industry. Thank you. And you can always reach out for me if you need any assistance, if I can help in any way. I'd be more than happy to support your program in the best way and the best ability that I have. Everybody knows Dave. Dave is my GM in Los Angeles for the past 7 or 8 years now. He's not in Los Angeles, lucky him. He's in Colorado with the family, as we are still a little bit in quarantine over here. So Dave, just say hello to people. I'm going to jump to Jeffrey just after you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us, Baptiste, till we raise a glass together.
Yeah, soon. As soon as we can travel again.
I know. Can't wait.
Thank you, Dave. Amazing. Jeffrey, long-time supporter of the company. Thank you so much to be part of it, Jeffrey. Tell us about you very quickly, please.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you, Bruno. Glad to be here with the Bellagio and as are a number of the other people here. I will double check the quantities on these wines in the warehouse today, but I've been working with these wines, as you know, for a very long time, since back in the David Burke days. And well, glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I really appreciate it. Phil is one of our sales representative, a wine specialist here in Lake Tahoe. And thank you so much to be part of that, Phil, and to talk about our portfolio to the people in Lake Tahoe. How's Lake Tahoe doing? Is it beautiful up there?
It's beautiful up there.
Currently, I'm sitting at my place in actually in Lodi, but I'll be back up in Tahoe again next week. These wines are amazing. They're presenting beautifully, and at these prices, the customers are really, really loving what they're tasting. I really look forward to sharing more of these.
Thank you, Phil. I really appreciate it. Keep up with the good work. Mindy, thank you so much, Mindy, to be part of it and to make the time to test the wine with us. Appreciate that. Tell us about you.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Mindy Threet. The name is wrong on my old computer here. I am the GM and the wine director at Tuscany Gardens here in Las Vegas. Thank you for letting me be here. Alan has always been a friend and a support to me as I navigate my career. I love the 16 Malbec. I'll definitely bring it into my program as I grow the wines there. Shows beautifully. Nose is evolving, plump. I get a lot of sweet tobacco. I think my guests will enjoy this wine. Great price. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. I want to thank you, Kendall, which is our sales girl in the West Side in Los Angeles, Jason, which is Midtown in Los Angeles. I want to thank everyone to make this happen. In 2 weeks, it's going to be Domaine Caz in Roussillon, in Collioure. We're going to be live with the owner, winemaker Lionel Laval. He's going to be at his property and he's going to be on the front of his restaurant. He's going to talk to us about nature wine or natural wine. He's going to talk to us about non-sulfite wine. He's going to talk to us about the moon calendar. He's going to tell us about the amazing program that we put together with the Domaine Caz special label that we create together. He's going to talk to us about the Domaine Polil, which is in Collioure, and we're going to be in the Catalan region. So in 2 weeks, that's what is scheduled. I want to thank everyone. I want a big thanks to my dear friend Baptiste Cuvelier. I usually see Baptiste twice a year, if it's not 3. And this year, it looks like we're not going to see each other yet. But I didn't say my last word on that. We'll figure out what we can do. Maybe you meet me in Mexico for Christmas or something. But thank you, Baptiste. Really appreciate your support. Really appreciate then you come up here this morning and tell us about your project. I hope everybody did have a great time. I hope this is not too long. But I want to be sure that this meeting is starting to be a little bit more personal, a little bit more one-on-one. And I really appreciate and all the comments and all the questions that you have. So thank you. And I'm going to leave the last single word to my friend Baptiste because he's here. And now it looks like very dark in France.
Yeah, it's about to be night and weekend here. But the last word, if it has to be one word, it is obviously cheers.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Keep drinking good wine. Keep selling wine. Sell, and be happy. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. See you in 2 weeks.